What up, musicians? If you are looking to make more money, get more clients, get more projects, I'm going to share a big tip with you. Doing business is a lot like practicing. And you know that there's a difference between effective practicing and just going in to the practice room with no plan, with no real strategy, with no focus. So these three common things that I see are just like going in the practice room and not really focusing and practicing well. And it's what musicians do when they're working on their business. The three things are, and this is when you have in your mind that you want to go make more money or get more clients, right? These are the things that people do that are just really spinning their wheels. One is to practice your instrument. Two is to go on social media. And three is to make the hang. All right. So I will explain these exactly in depth. Before I do, I just want to let you know the reason I'm doing these is because I'm trying to get attention for my services as a music business coach. And I've got a range of services from premium coaching, group coaching, and even a DIY online course. So go ahead and click the link or PM me if you're interested. All right, so let me explain how these three things are really time wasters and they're holding you back from your business. First of all, practicing your instrument, that's not a bad thing in and of itself if you're practicing to get better as a musician. But if you're practicing for the purpose of getting more work, you're probably holding yourself back and wasting time because it's just a function of your actual resistance, meaning your discomfort or your not knowing how to go out and get more work. The way to go out and get more work and get clients is to sell yourself, is to position yourself in front of the people that are going to hire you. So when we go and we just say, well, I guess I'll go in the practice room and practice because that's going to give me more work, we're just fleeing or running from the thing that's actually going to help us, right? Well, let me just prove to you why I think it's obvious that this is true. Because once you have a baseline of musicianship, the people that might actually hire you, they don't typically really know the difference between your musical level and someone much better than you or someone not as good as you. And just to verify this, think about people you know who play on a really, really high musical level and are not working. And think about people with a lower level of musical craft in whatever they do as a musician who are making lots of money. So this to me is kind of evidence of the fact that once you have a baseline of musicianship, practicing more is not the way to get more work. Okay, so number two is making the hang. So again, making the hang is can be a good thing. Like you can meet people, you can talk to people, you can deepen your relationship with those people. And I'm talking about if you go to a jam session or if you go to somebody else's gig so that you can just run into musicians or run into people there and connect or network. Very much like going to networking events or conferences. I feel the same way about this. While these things are not necessarily bad things in and of themselves, because you can get some results, they're just very inefficient when compared to other things that you could do with that same amount of time. If you have 2 or 3 hours free, choosing to go down to make the hang, you might make 1 or 2 contacts. Whereas if you were to do some other things to effectively position yourself and get your message out to your prospects, you could make a lot more progress. That time could be much more valuably spent. Okay, the third thing is social media. Similarly, a lot of people when they're thinking, what can I do to make more money today? I guess I'll go on social media because that's a good thing. That's a good way to spend my time, make more money. Again, think about the practicing analogy. You're like, well, I guess I'll pick up my instrument and I'll just doodle around. Or, when you're not really making the most of your time in the practice room, it's not really helping you, right? If you're not focused. And it's the same thing with business. So that's what people do on social media. They get on there, they get sucked into various vortexes, and it's not really productive. Now, there are some people who do social media in a very strategic way, and that's different. But for many people, I see them just sort of using it as a cop-out, just running from the resistance they feel about doing business, and specifically about selling your services, offering your services, getting in front of the people that are going to hire you. So there are some really specific, concrete, and pretty easy, actually, pretty simple ways that you can take 1 or 2 hours a day and probably double your income just by focusing on the right selling strategies, by clarifying your goals. And that's what I help musicians do. From everything from premium one-to-one coaching, my mid-level mastermind mentoring group, and the DIY course. So go ahead, click the link or PM me if you're interested in that, and look for more of these coming soon. Thanks.